Skeletons of the Marital Closet by Tang. Chapter 1331. You can call Arum, but you can't. Gale quickly interrupted him. Okay, stop. Stop talking. She did not want to hear it anymore. Having to coax her husband coquettishly, Gale has exhausted the remnants of her dignity, having to call him her brother. Do you want to change out of your shirt? If you are angry, just be angry. I'm too lazy to coax you. Just stay angry, Gale said. She turned around and was about to leave when Shawn gently pulled her into his arms. His big hands clasped her waist. Gaily, Gale leaned quietly in his arms, neither resisting nor making a sound. I just want special treatment. You are my wife. Before the divorce, you still belong to me. I still possess you, Shawn said. Although Shawn was already suppressing himself, he could not completely contain his feelings. I'm jealous of Arum, Shawn admitted. Gale sighed. The things Mary said were from 20 years ago. I was only a few years old at that time, and I have no memory of it. Why do you want to be jealous of an old memory? I wasn't in your childhood. That's my regret. Gale's heart trembled. There was a trace of sweetness and warmth slowly occupying her entire heart. Being loved and favored by others had always been something that a woman deserved to show off in a high-profile manner, especially being held in the palm of the hand by a powerful man like Shawn. He had her love, her marriage, her body, and her heart, but he still felt that it was not enough. He even wanted to be involved in her childhood. I don't want to miss any moment in your life, Gale. I will always be here in the future. As long as you look back, you can see me. I won't leave. However, I can't go back to the past. Time could only go forward, not backward. Gale was very moved by what he said. Shawn loves her deeply. She really felt it. Love that can be felt is real. Just when she was about to answer him, Shawn said, So, can you call me brother? Gale was speechless. All that sweet talk just to build it up for her to call him brother. Thanks to her being so touched just now, she felt that it was such a happy thing to be loved so deeply in this life. Shawn! Gale raised her hand and thumped her chest. You're really basic. He let go of his hand with a low smile. Gale immediately left his embrace, but still did not forget to give him a look. All your affectionate talk turns out it's all a lie. I didn't lie to you. It's all true, Shawn said. I don't believe it. Then are you going to call me brother? No! Shawn raised his eyebrows. Are you sure? Yes. Shawn stretched out his hand to hug her again, but Gale backed away again. Stop flirting here. Joshua appeared just after taking a shower. His hair was still wet, and he was wearing a bath towel, winking. This is a public place. It is a bad influence on minors, Gale retorted. We aren't flirting. Oh, you're too embarrassed to admit it. Chapter 1332. I have nothing to admit. Joshua continued to tease Gale. Oh, you are so stubborn. Gale felt annoyed. It's okay, you go ahead. Just pretend that I don't exist, and I won't look. But Nicole should be showering soon. Please mind your influence on her. Shawn raised his eyebrows. Why, are you envious? Me? Envious? Yes, you single boy. Joshua snorted and lifted his chin to the sky. There are so many girls in the kindergarten who like me. If I want to get a girlfriend, it will be a matter of minutes. Gale was stunned. Are you picking up girls in kindergarten? They're just classmates. I love you the most. Thank you. Joshua wiped his hair. I think girls are too troublesome. They cry all the time and like to hit people with their hands. Hey, it's better to be single, Shawn asked. If you say that, why are you still playing with Nicole? Nicole is definitely different. How can they compare with Nicole? That is his sister, his twin sister. They will be together forever. Shawn snorted. You're pretty good at playing double standards. Joshua had a good eye, and he knew that he had a crush on the daughter of the Wood family. More than a dozen sumptuous dishes were put on the table in the dining room. Shawn and Gale sat on one side, and Joshua and Nicole sat aside. Among the four people, three of them knew in their hearts that this could be regarded as a family dinner, and such an opportunity was rare. Only Shawn did not know. Gale looked at the twins with a smile. Nicole, Joshua, how about we take you out to play this afternoon? Yes! Where do you want to go? Nicole looked at Joshua and asked. Joshua, where do you want to go? I'll go wherever you go, and I'll just follow you. Shawn coughed deeply. Nicole, don't you have your own opinions? Daddy, what is an opinion? Gale gave a smile. It's where you want to go, not following someone's ideas. Nicole replied. Joshua is not someone else. Shawn was silent. His daughter was under a love spell. It was not that he cared about Joshua's background, nor was it because of Joshua's glib tongue, but she was too young to cultivate feelings. In the future, Nicole will meet more suitable ones. How could Joshua succeed in kindergarten? There was still a long way to go. Let's go to the water park. Let's swim and play in the water together. You can play together too, Joshua said. Gale was naturally fine with it, but when she was about to nod her head, Shawn voiced no. The three of them stared at him in unison and then asked in unison, Why? Anywhere else is fine, but not the water park. Besides, didn't you just play water fights at home today? Shawn asked. The water park is different. You can swim. There are so many people. I will book the venue so there will be no one else there. That would take away a lot of fun. However, it did not matter as long as Big Beauty and Nicole were here. Gale did not quite understand what Shawn was thinking and said, Both of them want to go, so let's go. Chapter 1333. However, Shawn did not answer or explain. Gale would wear her swimsuit if she went to the water park. Nicole too. What a sneaky Joshua. Only Shawn could see his two women's bodies. No one of the opposite sex can see it. Nicole said, Daddy, we all want to go. Only you don't want to go. She pursed her mouth. Suddenly, Gale said, Forget it. The corner of Shawn's mouth twitched deeply. Nicole's eyes dimmed. Joshua was full of incomprehension. Immediately afterward, Gale said, If he doesn't want to go, then the three of us will go. Don't take him. Joshua snapped his fingers. Perfect. Yeah, long live Aunt Anne. Shawn was stunned. He was abandoned? Gale could not care less. After eating, she packed up her swimsuit and other equipment and set off with the two children. When she opened the door, she found Shawn was already sitting inside. Gale asked, I thought you were staying home. Why did you get in the car before us? When did I say I wasn't going? Gale nodded with a smile. All right, if you said so. She carried the two children into the car. There was laughter in the car, which was very harmonious and happy. Shawn's face was sullen. Gale leaned onto him. Cheer up. You're a mood killer. Am I unhappy? Yes, it's all written on your face. Shawn snorted deeply. You read it wrong. You're such a disappointment. Gale stretched out her hand to tug at the corner of his mouth. Smile. Shawn held her hand. Don't cause trouble. In his opinion, if there were no Joshua, that would really be the perfect water park bash party. He could admire Gale's swimsuit without any scruples, play with his daughter in the water, and teach her how to swim. However, with the presence of Joshua, everything was not so beautiful. Shawn suddenly thought of something. By the way, what kind of swimsuit did you bring? Gale's eyes began to wander. She tried to change the subject. Nicole, do you want some water? Joshua, there are candies here. Shawn raised his hand to pinch her chin and turned it lightly, forcing her to look at him. Answer me. No. Shawn did not bother to ask anymore and reached for the bag on the back seat. Gale grabbed it quickly. I've packed everything. Don't mess around. What kind of bathing suit did you bring? Just ordinary swimsuits. Aren't they all the same? Shawn narrowed his eyes deeply. Gale, don't lie to me. All right. She will wear it by then, and he will see it sooner or later. Once she puts it on, Shawn could not tell her to take it off right away. However, if Shawn saw it now, she would have no chance to put it on at all. Gale still wanted to struggle a bit. I'll show you when I get to the changing room at the swimming pool. Chapter 1334. Now show me. Shawn was forceful. Gale looked at him for a few seconds and was defeated. She silently took out her mobile phone and silently clicked on a photo. This is the modeled picture. She only took one look. At one glance, he almost wanted to vomit. It was very beautiful. If she had worn it and shown it to him, it would definitely make him unable to hold back. White lace and thin suspenders are wrapped around the neck. The length was just enough to cover the thighs, which could fully show a person's graceful figure. However, how could Gale wear this to a public water park? Although the venue has been booked and cleared, the servers and other staff will still be there. Does it look good? Gale observed his expression and asked cautiously. I like it, and it doesn't reveal too much at all. You can see that it's completely covered up. It's one piece and it doesn't show anything. No matter what she said, Shawn just looked at her lightly. However, there is only one thought in his mind. How dare she? Gale said, I just brought one. I only have this to wear. You can't let me wear nothing, right? Buy another set. Then it's a waste. If she could not wear it this time, Shawn would definitely not let her wear it next time. Shawn suddenly smiled. It won't be wasted. Ah, I can wear it? Gale's eyes brightened. Gale thought happily. Wow, Shawn is not old-fashioned and traditional, possessive and conservative. He still let her wear it. It was just that he would be a little unhappy. Shawn had made great progress. Just when Gale was rejoicing, Shawn lowered his voice and whispered, Don't be too happy, Gale. What do you mean? Shawn gently stroked her cheek with his fingertips. You still can't wear it now. You can wear it when we are at home and alone. Gale's smile froze on his face. She thought Shawn was open-minded, but it turned out he was not. She misunderstood. The smile on the corner of Shawn's mouth deepened. In this way, a swimsuit won't be wasted. Looking at the deep meaning in his eyes, Gale only felt that her legs weakened. She could not imagine the scene where she put on her swimsuit and stood in front of Shawn in the bedroom at night. Would she be swallowed alive? Gale gritted her teeth. Shawn, you are dreaming. He sat back in his seat, and his tone was completely non-negotiable. Wear it at night, or don't wear it at all. Gale was downcast. Shawn's attitude was so tough that she must not be able to wear it. Of course, women want to wear nice swimsuits, go to the pool, and take some nice photos. Chapter 1335. In the end, I couldn't even wear it. so why take pictures? Joshua suddenly waved his hands. Resist! Resist! Freedom to dress! Shawn glared at him. However, this trick was useless against Joshua. What a beautiful swimsuit! It looks like a fairy! You can take a lot of beautiful photos. Girls must take pictures when they go out, Joshua said. Shawn did not respond at all. He had the final say. When they arrived at the water park, the person in charge greeted them in person. Gale entered the changing room and found that there was already a set of swimsuits. She picked it up. It looked like a scuba diving suit. It was wrapped from head to toe, leaving only the ankles exposed. Forget it. She would wear it. She changed and went out, only to find that Nicole had also changed into a swimsuit with the same style as hers. Joshua said, "These ladies don't have fashion sense." Before he could finish speaking, Shawn grabbed him and threw him into the swimming pool with a plop. Water splashed everywhere. Shawn had been thinking about doing that for a long time, and now he could. Joshua emerged from the water and wiped his face. "Wow, old man, you are cheating. I'm not even ready." Shawn stood by the pool and folded his arms. Fighters win at all cost. Do you understand? Just you wait. Nicole happily put on the swimming ring and swam around. There were also various entertainment items, water slides, rafting, water roller coasters. For an entire afternoon, Joshua and Nicole played like crazy until it was completely dark. Peter came to take Joshua home from Temperley Hall. "Dad, stay for dinner," Gale said. No, I invited someone to play chess. Go another day." Peter waved his hand. "No, I can't miss this game." Gale felt a little strange. He could play chess on any day, so why today? Next to him, Joshua directly broke the news. "Because he lost to others last time, he will take me there today to help him win a game back." "You? Help Dad win the chess game?" "Joshua, when did you learn how to play chess?" Gale asked. "I just saw it and immediately knew how." Peter nodded with a smile. "Yes, when I played chess, I brought Joshua by my side, and I explained the rules to him while I was playing. He got started very quickly and played very well. So far, he has not lost." Gale was very surprised. Those uncles who loved to play chess were all veterans. They did not expect that Joshua could easily defeat them. No wonder Dad wanted to take him away. All right, it's getting late. I will be heading off," Peter said. He took Joshua by the hand and left in a hurry. Nicole stood at the door reluctantly. "Joshua, goodbye." "You will meet him again on Monday. It's not been a long time since you last met," Gale said. "But I want to see him every day." Shawn was about to get jealous again. They would meet at kindergarten every day and even saw each other on weekends. They were almost inseparable. Unexpectedly, Nicole was still not satisfied. Gale patted Nicole's head but said nothing. Nicole turned to look at Shawn and said, "By the way, Daddy, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you." Chapter 1336. Nicole explained. "I know Mommy's doing well. She's safe. So I shouldn't be angry with you and yell at you last night." Shawn was a little surprised. He was busy today. In the morning, he and Gale went to the hospital to deal with Heather. In the afternoon, they took their two children to the water park. So there was no time for Nicole to make a video call with the so-called mommy today. But Nicole suddenly believed his nonsense and apologized to him. What happened? Did Joshua really have such great ability? What did he tell Nicole? Nicole said, "But I still miss Mommy very much. I want to see her, and I don't know when she will come home." "It's okay, as long as she is having fun." "Where is Mommy? I haven't seen her for a long time. Nicole shook her little head. The more she thought about it, the more confused she became. She tugged on Gale's sleeve and said, I'm sleepy. Mrs. Anne, I want to go to sleep. Okay, I'll take you back to your room. After playing for so long, Nicole must be tired. Nicole lay on the bed and hugged the doll while murmuring, Mommy, Mommy. Gale sat by the bed and watched over her until she fell asleep before leaving the room. She went downstairs and saw Shawn standing on the phone in front of the window. Understood. I'll come over later. Keep an eye on her so there won't be any accidents, he said in a low voice. Gale walked over and looked at him silently. After he hung up the phone, she asked, Is it news from the Lefting family? Yes. Gale glanced at the time. The second attack will happen in 3 hours. Natalie wants to see me. She also specifically asked that you also be present, Shawn said. Gale thought about it before agreeing. Okay, Gale, would you be able to take it? Shawn said. She would feel distressed when she saw Aram in pain. She hurt like he hurt. Then he would hurt too, because she loved someone else. 3 people bore Aram's pain. Think on the bright side, maybe tonight we can get the other half of the antidote because it was Natalie who asked to see us. She probably wants to negotiate, Gale said. Maybe Natalie could not accept it, let alone face Aram's second attack. Shawn nodded deeply. Maybe. I feel that Nicole is acting confused. Something's not quite right. Gale frowned, feeling vaguely worried. I don't know how she will behave after she wakes up. She looked at the sky, and the last ray of sunset put away its brilliance. God, it's completely dark. Let's go to Aram's house tonight. It would be extraordinary. In psychological warfare, whoever was more calm would have the upper hand. Obviously, Natalie was a little out of sorts. Gale looked at him firmly. No matter what happens tonight, I will always stand with you. I will fully cooperate with you. He did not answer, but squeezed her hand tightly. Chapter 1337. Her words were enough. He could overcome all difficulties and dangers without hesitation. Gale sighed. I really hope to see Nicole sober and normal. If this continues, she will collapse sooner or later. She swings back and forth between suspecting that Mommy abandoned her and staying by her side. We can hide it for a while, but it will always be a temporary solution and cannot solve the fundamental problem. I will. This was Shawn's answer, and it was a promise. The living room was brightly lit in Aram's home. Natalie sat on the sofa, looking in the direction of the kitchen. The sound of pots and pans came from inside from time to time. It was Aram cooking. It's so good. Aram, I can eat the meals you can cook for me my whole life, Natalie said to herself with a satisfied and happy smile. It's worth it. But this should be our last meal. Why do I love you so much? Actually, I don't know. She stood up and walked to the kitchen door. Aram was wearing an apron, holding a spatula and cooking. Quite the definition of a house husband. When he turned around, he caught a glimpse of Natalie standing there and quickly waved his hand. There is a lot of oil and smoke here. Go out and wait. It will be fine soon. No, I want to see you here. I'll make you sneeze. Natalie smiled. Not only did she not leave, but she rolled up her sleeves and walked in. Let me help you, lest you take sugar as salt again. She went to the kitchen. Moreover, her cooking skills are also very good, probably because she has always wanted to cook for her beloved. How can a chef help someone who just learned how to cook? I will be under pressure, Aram joked. It's okay. I'm bored sitting outside alone. I want to spend more time with you. Natalie, at this time, was very gentle and quiet. She was no longer irritable and had a bad temper. Although her face was pale, her body was weak, and her arms and legs were covered with wounds, she exuded a sense of tranquility. It was like they went back in time. Aram looked at her, forgetting to look away. Natalie finished washing the onions, then raised her head to meet his gaze. Is there something on my face? She looked away a little, very unconfident. It was because, all along, she had always maintained the best looking and most elegant side of her in front of Aram. However, since breaking off the engagement, Natalie seemed to be a different person. She had no image at all, always yelling like a shrew. She also understood that she had already completely lost Aram. She was not good enough for him. No, your face is very calm. I just feel that I saw the old you again, that virtuous, temperamental person who always circles around me and adores me, Aram replied. Natalie lowered her head, busy handling the ingredients in her hands, and asked, Do you like that, Natalie? Aram fell silent. You see, no matter what I look like, you never liked me. So, no matter how well I do, you won't fall in love with me. She smiled wryly. In his heart, there was only room for Gale. Chapter 1338. Natalie, you are too stubborn. What you have always wanted is the love between me and you. As long as you are willing to give in, there is no animosity between us. It won't be what it is today, Aram sighed. Natalie replied, I don't want to settle for second best. I want love. If there is no love, I would rather not have other affections. She was just so clueless. Therefore, there would be today's end. Why bother? Don't you regret it? Aram said. No regrets. Aram wanted to say something else, but Natalie pointed and said, The dishes are about to burn. Only then did Aram start cooking in a hurry. Natalie walked toward the dining hall with the plate. At a glance, she saw Shawn and Gale, who happened to walk in. The two stood side by side, holding hands and clasping fingers, so well matched. It seemed that no one could intervene between the two of them. Let me and Aram finish this meal first. Just wait a moment, Natalie said. Shawn said lightly, It's a great honor for me to wait for you. If you want the antidote, you have to wait. Natalie did not even look at Shawn. She walked into the dining hall with the dishes and then back into the kitchen. She completely ignored the couple. Do you feel Natalie is a little different? Gale asked in a low voice. Yes, she became very calm, a little unnaturally quiet. Could it be that she came up with some crooked plan again? Shawn shook his head slowly. I think she has already made a decision and accepted the reality. That's why she's so calm and takes everything lightly. Gale was startled. What decision? Give the antidote or... She just said that if you want the antidote, you have to wait. Shawn bent over and sat down on the sofa, raised his wrist, and glanced at the time. Take it easy. They were not in a hurry. Even if he was in a hurry, he would not show it. Gale was not as calm as Shawn. She glanced at the dining hall from time to time and kept pacing back and forth. Shawn pressed his brows and said, Gale, calm down. I'm impatient. I can't help myself. She also understood, but she just could not do it. She could not help walking around anxiously. In the end, Shawn really could not bear to watch it any longer, so he reached out his hand to grab her. He pulled her in his arms and sat on his lap. "Then I'll help you restrain yourself. Or I have other ways," Shawn said. As he spoke, his lips were about to press down. Gale was so frightened that she immediately tapped his thin lips. "Don't mess around." This was Arum's house. Besides, she was here to do business, so she did not have the mood to flirt. "This is the only way to calm you down." Gale shook her head. "No, you're clearly trying to drive me crazy." Shawn leaned back lazily and rubbed his fingers at the thinnest part of her waist. "I've been waiting for so long, Gale. It's not too late. The more critical of the moment, the more nervous I am. And..." "Huh? And what?" Gale expressed her worries. "When I coaxed Nicole to sleep, she was acting weird. She was alive and kicking around during the day and looked normal. But before going to bed, she was a little confused, and her complexion looked bad. She raised Nicole alone so she could easily see if there was anything strange." Shawn frowned slightly. Chapter 1339. At this moment, his mobile phone rang. It was the housekeeper. He was about to answer the call when Gale grabbed the phone. "Hey, is Nicole okay? Get the servant to keep an eye on her. If you have nothing to do, go and see her. I'm afraid she will have a nightmare." "I am calling because of Miss Nicole," the housekeeper said. "What happened to Nicole?" "Miss Nicole has a fever of 37.6 degrees. I have put a fever patch on her. I plan to observe and see the situation." Fever? Sure enough, Gale's worry was correct. "I called to report it right away. Should I send Miss Nicole to the hospital or keep her at home for observation?" "Does Nicole have any other symptoms?" "No. Miss Nicole slept soundly, but she was a little sweaty," said the housekeeper. Gale clenched the phone tightly. "Take another look. If there is any abnormality, send her to the hospital, and then notify me immediately." "Yes, madam." Gale, who had just calmed down, looked nervous again. She bit her lip and clenched her hands tightly, sweating. "Don't panic. Wait a little longer." Shawn said the same thing. He slowly opened her fingers one by one, wiping the sticky sweat from her palms. Coincidentally, Aram came out of the kitchen with the last dish and happened to see it. In the brightly lit living room, a man in a suit and leather shoes and a woman in a white dress matched so well. It was just like a movie screen. Moreover, Gale sat on Shawn's lap, intimate and ambiguous. The position on a man's thigh was not for everyone to sit casually. That was exclusive. Both Shawn and Gale were too focused to notice Aram. After wiping off her sweat, Shawn's fingers slipped between her fingers and he clasped his fingers tightly. "I'm here. Gale, don't be afraid," he said in a low voice. She just hummed in response. Aram walked into the dining hall quietly, without disturbing them. Natalie had already sat down and was arranging the dishes. She smiled. "It smells so good. Let's eat." Aram looked at her, hesitant to speak. Natalie knew what he wanted to ask. "I saw that Shawn and Gale were here. It's okay. Don't worry about them." "Why are they here?" What was more, Gale came along. She did not show up last night. Only Shawn showed up. "Oh, I called them here." Natalie served a bowl of soup to Aram. "I made a special request that Gale must be present." Aram lowered his head. "You," Natalie interrupted him. "Eat. We'll talk about it when we have filled our tummy." How could Aram eat? He could not figure out what Natalie was thinking. Was she going to surrender the antidote? Or did she have a new idea? Seeing that the time for the next attack was coming, Natalie was very attentive and kept picking up food for him. I didn't expect that we would have the opportunity to sit and eat together again. Arum, your cooking skills have improved a lot compared to yesterday. If you cook next time, you will be much more proficient. Practice makes perfect for cooking, and it will only get better and better in the future. If you cook for someone you like, you won't put the sugar as salt. Chapter 1340. Who will be blessed with it? Is it Gale? It should be her. After all, she is the woman you have loved all your life. From the beginning to the end, you only have her. You can't tolerate others in your eyes. As she spoke, tears rolled down Natalie's eyes. However, she still smiled. No matter what, I, Natalie, ate the first meal you cooked. In the past 20 years or so, I have been the one by your side. We went to elementary school, junior high school, and high school together. In order to be in the same university as you, I studied hard and finally got my wish and became your alumni. I didn't want to be separated from you for a day. Later, we got engaged. Aram, please always remember that the person who has been with you for more than 20 years is me. It was she who stood by his side, day and night, month and year. Gale was just a thought in his heart, a vain imagination. Even with many years of companionship, it was not worth a place in his heart. That was a place Natalie had never entered before. The table was full of dishes, but no one moved. How could anyone eat? Natalie also put away the cutlery and stopped serving Aram food. Seeing the dishes piled up in his bowl, she smiled wryly. Maybe, Aram, our relationship is like this bowl in front of you. Even if it's full, you don't want it either. I always give you what I think is the best, what you need. However, he did not like it at all, and even thought it was a burden. Natalie, let's eat. Aram sighed and was interrupted by her again. The dining hall was quiet, with only the sound of the cutlery against the plate. In fact, the two of them could not taste anything at all, deep in their own thoughts. There was no movement outside. Shawn was more calm than anyone else. Finally, Natalie pushed away the dining chair and stood up. She turned around and walked toward the living room. Aram quickly grabbed her, looked at her sharply, and said, Natalie, before we go to see Shawn and Gale, let's have a good talk. What are you talking about? What's there to talk about? You only need to do one thing. Aram stared into her eyes. Give the antidote to Shawn and leave everything else to me. Up to this moment, Aram still wanted to save Natalie. He wanted to pull her back. He wanted to protect her. One was because of years of emotional foundation, and the other was because Natalie really loved him. Natalie saw through his thoughts. Aram, do you still want to protect me? He nodded. Yes. Unfortunately, it's useless. Shawn won't let me go, Natalie said. You don't need to worry about these. Leave them to me. Natalie, you just give him the antidote and let Nicole regain consciousness. Natalie smiled. She raised her hand and caressed Aram's cheek. How should I describe you, Aram? I love you so much, but sometimes I feel that you are not worthy of my deep love. But at a moment like now, you are always thinking of me, which makes me feel that I love the right person. Should I love or should I hate you? But Aram, what have you done wrong? You just don't love me. Natalie withdrew her hand and took 2 steps back. I always thought that there was nothing that could make me surrender, whether I lost my life or died, whether the Yarn family was bankrupt or not, and whether I could see my biological mother in my lifetime. It doesn't matter, and I don't care. But I overlooked one point. Aram, you are my biggest weakness.